For the past half-century, the Korean DMZ has been a deadly place for humans. Even though a man-made fence has divided the south and the north, many lives have interacted, pushing the boundary, and the landscape is peaceful. The DMZ is the tragedy of the Korean peninsula. The Korean War ceasefire agreement was signed in 1953 after a hard-fought, 3-year battle between North and South Korea. On the front line, there is always vigilance. The 4 seasons of the DMZ are varied. Tutayon spring, when the trout return upstream, is full of vitality. In spring, the trout are desperately swimming up the valley. They are returning to spawn. In a season where the landscape is verdant in every direction, new life springs forth everywhere. Inland wetlands located in Paju City, Gyeonggi Province. In the puddles of water around the rice fields, aquatic plants are abundant. Patience and perseverance are required for a dragonfly larva to become a large dragonfly. Low mountains, rivers, and the sea meet and form an unusual ecological terrain. In the western DMZ, there are colonies of willows. In the midsummer, all kinds of insects awake in the morning in the quiet woods. When the drought-dried land becomes moist, on the corner of the Jonghang Swamp, guests of honor have appeared. Daehan's shore crab. They are treasures of the swamp who live symbiotically with the willows. The northern tip of the West Sea island, Gujido. In March and April, the island, which still bears the scars of the Korean War, is crowded with tens of thousands of summer birds. During the breeding season, the main characters of Gujido are a rare bird, the black-faced spoonbill, whose courtship behavior was captured. A place where tension and peace coexist. In the DMZ, these river deer live together in a perilous neighborhood. All around them are minefields. There is also a brave bird who is nesting in that dangerous place. A kingfisher. The mother bird softens the fish that she caught for her baby. The eastern front of the DMZ is a mountain range. Hwang, which lies on the southern limit line of the DMZ, is located in the uppermost watershed of the North Han River. We met the goats that live in the Hwang Region General Outpost. The goats don't pay much attention to the soldiers working in a nearby guard post. The fact that the goats are not afraid of people is a special circumstance created by the DMZ. In the evening, around the time that the floodlights are turned on, the ecosystems of the night begin to wriggle. While the natural enemies of the black-striped field mouse are sleeping, they begin their lively movement. However, the DMZ is never a truly safe place. Snakes are targeting the black-striped field mouse. The world of nature in the DMZ can be cruel. The eastern northern limit line of the DMZ. The East Sea salmon diligently toil their way toward a valley. Each year, the salmon visit Myongpa Creek to propagate their family line. Myongpa Creek, untouched by humanity, is home for the salmon. Man-made barbed wire doesn't bother these creatures. The white-naped cranes are visiting the DMZ again this year. White-naped cranes fly in from Siberia and Mongolia to fill up their stomachs with fallen grain. The DMZ of the Korean Peninsula is a wonderful energy source for white-naped crane. The land where birds and humans coexist, the DMZ. The birds can fly between south and north. They have already achieved unity. This is neither the Amazon or the Galapagos, but the Korean Peninsula. Here is a holy land of peace, from where no dispute in the world can be seen. After the half-century of bitter division, human conflict has disappeared, and the world of nature is at peace.